A vampire is a mythical creature that subsists by feeding on the vital essence, generally in the form of blood, of the living. In European folklore, vampires are undead creatures that often visited loved ones and caused mischief or deaths in the neighborhoods they inhabited while they were alive. Vampires are typically said to be of pale skin and range in appearance from grotesque or preternaturally beautiful, depending on the tale. Another frequently cited physical characteristic is the inability to cast a reflection or shadow, which often translates into an inability to photographed or recorded on film. The word vampire first appeared in English in 1732 in news reports about vampire epidemics in Eastern Europe. After Austria gained control on the North Serbia and Altania with the Treaty of Pastrovitz in 1718, officials noted the local practice of exhuming bodies and killing vampires. Creatures with vampire characteristics have appeared at least as far back as ancient Greece, where stories were told of creatures that attacked people in their sleep and drained their bodily fluids. Tales of walking corpses that drank the blood of the living and spread plague flourished in medieval Europe in times of disease, and people lacking a modern understanding of infectious disease came to believe that those who became vampires preyed first upon their own families. Research from the 20th and 21st centuries has posted that characteristics associated with vampires can be traced back to certain diseases such as porphyria, which makes one sensitive to sunlight, tuberculosis, which causes wasting, pellagra, a disease that thins the skin, and rabies, which causes biting, and general sensitivities that could lead to repulsion by light or garlic. Vampire myths were especially popular in Eastern Europe, and the word vampire most likely originates from that region. Digging up the bodies of suspected vampires was practiced in many cultures throughout Europe, and it is thought that the natural characteristics of decomposition, such as receding gums and the appearance of growing hair and fingernails, reinforced the belief that corpses were in fact continuing some manner of life after death. Also, possibly contributing to this belief was the pronouncement of death for people who were not dead. Because of the constraints of medical diagnosis at the time, people who were very ill or sometimes even very drunk and in a coma or in shock were thought dead and later miraculously recovered, sometimes too late to prevent their burial. Belief in vampires led to rituals such as taking corpses through the heart before they were buried. In some cultures, the dead were buried face down to prevent them from finding their way out of their graves. There are many works on vampire. Dracula is arguably the most important work of vampire fiction. The tale of the Transylvania Count, who uses supernatural abilities, including mind control and shape shifting, to prey upon innocent victims, inspired countless works thereafter. Many popular characteristics, such as methods of survival and destruction, vampires as aristocracy, and even vampires being of Eastern European origin, were solidified in this popular novel and especially through its 1931 film adaptation starring Hungarian born actor Bela Lugosi. The novel itself is thought by some to have been inspired in past by the cruel acts of the 15th century prince Vlad III, Dracula of Transylvania, also known as the Impaler, and Countess Elizabeth Bathory, who was believed to have murdered dozens of young women during the 16th and 17th centuries in order to bathe or possibly drink their blood, so has to preserve her own vitality. In the 20th century, vampires began to turn from being depicted as predominantly animalistic characters and instead displayed a broader range of human characteristics. Vampire fiction entered a new era. Vampires became the creatures of fantasy, urban myths, and the vampire has become a dominant figure in horror genre. Although modern science has silenced the vampire fears of the past, people who call themselves vampires do exist. They are normal seeming people who drink small amounts of blood in a effort to stay healthy. Communities of self-identified vampires can be found on the internet and in cities and towns around the world. To avoid rekindling vampire superstitions, most modern vampires keep to themselves and typically conduct their feeding rituals, which include drinking the blood of willing donors in private. Some vampires don't ingest human blood but claim to feed off the energy of others. Many state that if they don't feed regularly, they become agitated or depressed. So, friends, that's all for now. Please like my video and subscribe to my channel. Don't forget to press the bell icon and share my videos with friends and family. Thank you for watching the video.